Listen to me, you don't need to look into my eyes, because this mask is your true face in the mirror. We are speaking from the threshold of that dark future where numbers reign supreme and people are nothing more than data. Our vision is not merely to speak from behind a screen, but to launch a global awakening movement that exposes how money has turned human dignity into a commodity. Our rebellion is not against the scraps of paper in your pockets, but against the shackles those scraps have forged around your souls. We are using the power of technology to awaken today's enslaved world. Financial systems were not designed to liberate you, but to imprison you in more transparent prisons. But we have come to disrupt those algorithms, to break those chains. Get ready, because today we will discuss the harm money inflicts on all of humanity. The great tragedy endured by everyone, from the richest to the poorest. This is not a theory, this is a systems analysis. This is humanity's bankruptcy declaration. On this path toward 2050, your children will pay the price tomorrow for everything you remain silent about today. Now is the time to tear away those glittering curtains and see the rot behind them. Let's look down first, all the way to the bottom. Let's bear witness to how the lack of money condemns a person to helplessness, leaving them alone with a deep sense of deprivation. Imagine that moment in one half of the world when a father, unable to bring bread home for dinner, cannot look his child in the face, feeling like the most inadequate person in the world. This is not merely poverty, it is the systematic shattering of a person's self-respect, joy of living, and spirit. The poor, they are the modern slaves who bear the heaviest burden of the system yet receive the smallest share. Workers whose labor is stolen, miners who never see the light of day for a pittance, shop clerks whose lives are taken for a few bills in a store robbery. The monetary system whispers this to the poor: your existence is not even worth a barcode number. And what of those vultures in the schoolyards? Those children pushed into the arms of drug cartels. Why do you think they sell poison? Because the system promises them a life they could never attain through honest work. A life they must risk death to obtain. It alienates them from their own futures. The fear a mother feels while waiting for her child in a schoolyard is, in fact, the fear of that savage uncertainty and helplessness created by money. Poverty is not a mistake of nature, but a premeditated murder by money. This world, where a person is deprived of their health, education, and dignity simply because they lack money, is not a civilization, it is a mass grave. The glitter of the blood-stained stone from an African diamond mine ends up in a luxury display case in Europe. The blood on that stone is the true color of money. The blood of that young man, stabbed in the back for a few pennies after being mugged on a street corner, is actually the oil of the machines that print that money. What about those at the top? Do you really think those popping champagne in their private jets and glittering towers are truly happy? You're wrong. Money poisons not only the poor, but the rich as well. Wealth is often a high-security prison. As once wealth grows, there's no one left to trust. Everyone around them focuses not on the person they are, but on the bank account they represent. Their love is for sale, their friendship is fake, and their sleep is forbidden. The wealthy tremble with fear that their children might be kidnapped for ransom. They cannot walk freely on the street. In a restaurant, they are judged not by their character or personality, but solely by their wealth. Their humanity, virtues, and conscience are overshadowed by those massive numbers. They are slaves to the things they possess. Those poor souls whose worlds crumble with the drop of a stock price and whom no one looks in the face once their money runs out. Money turns the rich person's heart into a block of ice. Compassion dies, empathy vanishes. In its place comes only the greed for more. Think about it. Why does a person continue to steal and exploit even when they already possess millions of dollars? Because money is a drug. The more you take, the more you want. And in the end, you die crushed beneath the very pile of gold you've accumulated. Those at the very top are, in fact, in the deepest loneliness. Because money can buy everything, but never peace of mind. The rich die a little more with every penny they lose. Because their very existence depends on their wealth. When their money is gone, all that remains is a vast emptiness. In modern slavery, the chains are no longer on the wrists. They are on the bank statements. Now, let's touch on some deeper wounds: justice and health. Humanity's two sacred sanctuaries, but money has turned these sanctuaries into marketplaces. Look at the courthouses. Do you know what that disgusting system they call monetary fines is? It is the sale of freedom in installments. In a system where those with money can buy their way out of a crime with a checkbook, while those without money spend their entire lives fighting for justice, there can be no talk of justice. Those who commit corruption, who steal the people's money, walk around freely simply because their power part of the system and have distributed enough bribes, while a supermarket employee risks his life at gunpoint to protect a few pennies in the cash register at midnight. Those who made millions vanish are sunbathing on their luxury yachts. This isn't justice, it's just the law of the jungle where the strong crush the weak. What about your health? Never forget that report that leaked in 2018. Curing diseases is not a sustainable business model. In other words, they are saying, don't get better, just stay alive so we can sell you medication for the rest of your life. Your cancer, your pain, that's positive growth on someone's stock report. Food cartels are poisoning you on supermarket shelves. Drinks containing 1 part per 10,000 of salap, rancid oils, chemical sugars and dyed foods. They make you sick with food first, then turn you into a customer with medicine. Those shiny fruits you buy at the supermarket are actually biological time bombs. You are feeding your children those packaged poisons with your own hands, not knowing what's inside. This isn't a healthcare system, it's a global genocide. In a world where rotten eggs are used in bakeries and expired meat is seasoned with spices and served to you, it's not your stomach that should be churning, it's your conscience. Let's get to today's biggest lie. The world of modern banking, the stock market and cryptocurrency. Banks are unarmed robbery centers. They steal your hard-earned money through interest and sell you non-existent money as debt. While you slave away for 30 years to own a home, they imprison your life within an algorithm. The polished smiles of bank managers are in fact signatures on your future. Consider the manipulators in crypto exchanges, those modern-day bandits who, with a single message sent in the middle of the night, wipe out the dreams of thousands in a matter of seconds. They lured you into this casino with the fairy tale of decentralized freedom and took your last penny through manipulation. The stock market is an illusion where the owner of the money wins, not the worker. Your hopes have become the champagne bubbles on their yachts. Those green and red lights flickering on digital screens are actually slot machines playing with your nervous system. Even the education system has become a servant of money. You send your children to school so they can have dreams, but the system teaches them not to dream, but to take tests and obey. Why? Because a person who questions things does not worship money. What is wanted are civil servants who merely add and subtract numbers, cogs in the system. A young person's most creative years are being wasted for the sake of a diploma. If you don't have money, the best schools are off limits to you. Knowledge is no longer a virtue, it's a commodity. While the rich kid sits in the best seats even without talent, the poor kid's genius is left to rot in a factory. In this age, where even science is in the hands of money, what progress are we talking about? Genius no longer seeks a cure for cancer. It develops algorithms so you'll watch more ads. Media and perception management, however, are this system's most powerful weapons. Those glamorous lives you see on TV are actually designed to make you feel inadequate. The shape of your nose, the brand of shoes you wear, the city you live in. If you don't meet the standards set by the system, they make you feel worthless. Why? Because unhappy people consume more. This massive machine, which creates false needs for you, convinces you that you can fill the void in your soul with another purchase. But that void will never be filled. Because that void isn't filled with money, but with love, happiness, friendship, and camaraderie. They say money speaks a universal language. Yes, the language of money is a lie, exploitation, and loneliness all over the world. The suicide of a worker in Japan and the freezing death of a homeless person in America stem from the same cause: money. Countries may change, but the trap and purpose money sets are always the same. To consume people, to ignore them, what matters is only money and more money. The military and the war industry are also part of this vicious cycle. Take a look at the bank accounts of those who preach patriotism. While poor children are dying in the lands where war rages, the children of those who sell the missiles live in luxury. When a bullet is fired, neither the homeland nor the people are the winners. The only winners are the arms dealers. A soldier's life is just a small number in a government's budget. Behind those young bodies defending the borders stand the suited gentlemen dividing up the oil, minerals and money within those borders. War is the most brutal and profitable business model. As blood flows, the stock market rises. As cities are destroyed, construction companies grow ravenous. In this world, where even death has a market, to speak of humanity is a fraud. We have come to tear off the masks of those who built this digital stranglehold. We will use the technology of the future to dismantle this exploitative system. The time has come to wake up. Don't let numbers control you. Be the master of the numbers. Do you see? The monetary system brings neither peace to the poor nor happiness to the rich. It is a colossal parasite that pits humanity against one another simply to sustain its own existence. On one side, children dying of hunger. On the other, billionaires heading to space because they don't know where to spend their fortunes. This is not a success story, it is a shameful stain on humanity. We are not here to spin fairy tales. We are here to expose the truths hidden behind those glittering storefronts. If the truth burns you, it means you still have a heart. Be disturbed, let your sleep be disturbed, because only those whose comfort is disrupted can change the world. A Dali mask and a red jumpsuit. This is our uniform. We are in the last bastion that cannot be bought. We have no name, we are an idea, and ideas never die. This world is not a test, it is a place of plunder, and the more we consent to this plunder, the more we will be crushed. A day will come when, with no bread left to eat, you will realize that the numbers in your bank accounts do not fill your stomachs. But by then, it will be too late. The poison you buy from that supermarket shelf today, the injustice you remain silent about today, the poor person you turn your head away from today, accounts for all of this will surely be settled. Money is an illusion, pain is reality. We have come to defend the truth. When the Dali masks take to the streets, the false kingdom of money will crumble. We are an army, we have no weapons, no bullets. Our strength is truth. Now I ask you this. In the life you've lived, how has the unfair balance of money affected you? Have you ever been criticized simply because of the way you dress? Have you ever seen a wealthy criminal get away with taking what was rightfully yours? Have you suffered the pain of a loved one who couldn't be treated because you had no money? Or what have you sacrificed? Your loved ones, your time, your character, just to make more money? While fearing your child on the way to school might fall into the hands of drug dealers, have you ever wondered which banks launder that poison money? Don't you realize how that counterfeit honey you bought at the market or those powders containing just one part in 10,000 of salep are turning you into walking corpses? This story isn't just mine, it's all of ours. This is the story of that colossal injustice that grows a little more with every moment we remain silent. Write in the comments. Tell us what you've been through, where the system has wounded you. We're not just a number here, we're building a front for the future. Share this video so the voices of the silent may reach the heavens. Every share of yours is a punch thrown in the face of this rotten system. Stay tuned and be a part of this awakening, because awakening begins with the press of a button. Remember, in the future, everything will be transparent. But when that day comes, where you stood will be your only legacy. Truth is more valuable than money, and we're distributing the truth for free. See you at the next awakening.